Okay, welcome to an episode of Breaking Magic. This episode is inspired by MTG Jeff, he's a great guy. He's super funny. He does lots of janky stuff, but he doesn't do it full janky justice. That is what we're going to do here today. So the video he had recently had a video on Spikefield Hazard, and he wanted his win condition to be Spikefield Hazard coupled with a bunch of fiery emancipations. Now the question is, he was extolling the virtue, the fact that he had 1.5 billion points of damage. We are going to have a gazillion points of damage. We're going to have so much damage that we're going to wrap life totals. We won't break the game, which is nice to see, but it's going to be awesome. Now our plan here. Now you can have more damage than we're going to do here, but I'm a free-to-play player, so I just can't have all of the mythics needed to make this happen. I had to turn in a mythic wild card to get Fiery Emancipation. I haven't gotten one of those yet. So this is sort of the budget version of what I want to do. And we will be doing 3 to the 251 points of damage at once to our opponent when we're done. The trick here is we're going to make a ton of copies of Fiery Emancipation using Mythos of Aluna. I only have one of those. The way we make all of these copies without taking forever is with Double Vision. We'll have lots and lots of first we'll copy Double Vision like crazy, and then we'll start copying Fiery Emancipation like crazy using Mythos. The way we're going to do that is we're going to do a little recursion engine here between Bala Ged Recovery and Lithoform engine. So we're going to copy our Bala Ged recoveries and bring things up with Lithoform engine and bring out loop the Bala Ged recoveries and the Mythos of Aluna to make all of these crazy copies. Once we have our 250 copies on the battlefield, then we'll hit our opponent with a Spikefield Hazard. So that's the core pieces here. Got a bunch of other stuff, just a bunch of board wipes and other various mechanisms for keeping the board clean and keeping the opponent at bay. We're keeping up with Jeff's kind of idea here that the only win condition is Spikefield Hazard. Now, of course, that's not quite true. He points this out as well. Mythos of Aluna, you could copy a bunch of your opponent's creatures, but we're not going to do that. And then all of this here is just for getting the cards we need for our combo. I mean, this is a pretty janky combo to get to. These 3 cards here, sometimes we get pretty low in life, so this is just a way to get us some life. Sublime Epiphany, sometimes we need to get permanents returned to hand. Sometimes we want to counterspell. It's kind of a Swiss Army tool kit. Midnight Clock is in case we deck ourselves. This will keep us from decking ourselves. All of this is standard legal. That's a big part of the constraints here as well. If I was doing this with Historic, I'd set this up quite a bit differently. But here we go. So let's let the shenanigans begin. Okay, so let me walk you through this. Now I'm putting this at fast speed because frankly watching me play Sparky is not that interesting. This is the first time I played this deck. I mean, this is not the first time I've played this deck, but this is the first time I've recorded it, and we'll see that I'm winning it. The first order of business here is to stabilize the battlefield, and that's what's going on. Got an early Jace, and so I'm using Jace to scry and clean, get to what I need, get to the solutions that I need. Trying to assemble the combo here. Now the combo, remember, is Double Vision and Fiery Emancipation and a couple of Bala Ged recoveries, and this takes a little while to set up. Then we gotta blow through a bunch of our deck. Now it's going to be made a lot easier with the Double Vision, and particularly if we copy the Double Vision with Mythos of Aluna, we get plenty of copies. So anytime we start getting anything new, any sort of draw spells, we're going to be able to draw through a whole bunch of our library now. And this deck has a ton of draw spells. Bala Ged Recovery with the Double Vision allows us to get those draw spells. It also pulls in another Mythos of Aluna. So we're going to be able to get lots and lots of copies of Double Vision. Obviously, I'm trying to scry and trying to get to the things. Now, with the Wishclaw Talisman, we're going to be able to pull up what we need. But it just so happened we had the Fiery Emancipation there. So now it's going to take us a couple turns to get the mana here together and to get the Fiery Emancipation down. But that's all right. Now, once we get this combo assembled, we'll go even faster. Remember, the plan here is to make tons of copies of first Double Vision, and then having all those copies of Double Vision, we'll start copying the Fiery Emancipation. So we almost have the combo assembled here. Just still pulling through some stuff, filtering through, getting to the lands that we need, making sure we can clean up the battlefield. I mean, obviously we're way ahead of him in cards now, and we don't really have to worry. There's our Fiery Emancipation down. Okay, and now we almost have the combo completely assembled. We just have one more piece here to get into place, and we'll be able to get that with either the Wishclaw Talisman. Yeah, we'll be able to get that there with the Wishclaw. So let's do that now. Lithoform Engine. He's the missing link. Now everything will just work. You can see here I screwed up Scorching Dragonfire. I ended up having to exile my Jace, but that's okay. We already have the combo put together, so we don't care so much. And so now I'm speeding up even more. So before it was 4x, this is now 10x speed up. What we're doing here is we're going through and we're looping through every turn. We're going to loop through. We're going to create many copies of Double Vision. We're going to end up at around 30 or 32. I forget the exact number. And then we're going to loop through and use Mythos of Illuna to copy Fiery Emancipation. I mean, the number of mouse clicks here gets to be a bit insane. I recorded this before I really got into Kaldheim. With Kaldheim, there's ways to do this that are vastly simpler, although this idea of having only a single win condition makes it pretty complicated. This might be the only way to do it with the only win condition being Spikefield Hazard. But with Kaldheim, there's a bunch of tricks you can do to make this all this clicking go a lot faster. But so here we are, we're looping through. We're doing this a million times. Basically, this is going to be 1,000 mouse clicks to get all of this going. Hope you can be patient through all that. And once we get that board all set up, then we'll continue. All right. Well, this is taking forever, so I'm going to speed it up even more. And we're going to finish this. We're going to get all of those. We're going to fill it up to have 250 tokens. Now, I want to maximize this. So there's 30 of the Double Vision tokens. We need to get rid of those. So we're going to get rid of those by using Sublime Epiphany, returning those to our hands, and then using the Mythos of Illuna to go back and copy Fiery Emancipation, get us to 250 copies exactly of Fiery Emancipation. So in the end, we're going to have 251 copies total of Fiery Emancipation. And once that gets done, then we can start talking about our damage. Now here we are, we're at the point where we have all our Fiery Emancipations down. We are ready to damage our opponent. We're going to use Spikefield Hazard. It's going to do 3 to the 251 points of damage. How long does it take the game to figure this out? We've gone back to regular speed now, and we're going to see how long it takes the game to compute this. It turns out it takes the game about 3 or 4 minutes to go through and figure out exactly how many points of damage it needs to be doing. You may say, oh my god, I can't believe it's taking so long. This is actually a bug fix. So these are replacement effects. There's 251 replacement effects that it has to sort out and figure out what order to put them in. It turns out they're all the same, so the order doesn't matter. That's not immediately obvious to the code. someone has put in a lot more smarts to this code than in the past. In the past, this would have crashed the game. So the game's gotten a lot more robust. I don't know if you've noticed, but over the last 6 months, which is all that I've been playing playing Arena. I've played Magic for forever, but for Arena, for the last 6 months, the game has really improved in stability, and it's very impressive. So here we are. It's figuring out the replacement effects for 251 replacement effects. It's still working that out. You can see I was looking through the tokens there, but yeah, it just takes forever. So here we are. I don't know that you really want me to walk you through all this, but I will do one thing here. I'm going to go to the game options here and show you that, I chose to not auto-choose replacement effects. I thought that would be faster. Turns out I didn't do the test to see which one was faster or not. Either way, the order does not matter, and the game does figure that out, but it takes it a while. So, to summarize, where do we got? We used double vision to create a bunch, using Mythos of Illuna to create bunches of copies. We're using Lithoform Engine to loop Balaged Recovery so we could keep pulling cards back out of our graveyard. And in the end, we have 251 Fire Emancipations and a single Spike Field Hazard. And now we just have to wait for the game to compute. So I think you're just going to have to trust me on this, but it takes the game about 4 minutes. I'm going to leave this go just because I think it's kind of interesting. Or not, I don't know if it's that interesting, but that's it. That's all I have to show you for this episode of Breaking Magic. I'd like to thank Magic the Gathering Jeff, MTG Jeff. He kind of inspired this video with his video. And I just wanted to show you how crazy it could get. Now, it can get crazier than this. There are cards here. Mirage Mirror. Well, I guess that's not a standard legal card. But, we could have 3 more Fiery Emancipations here. I am a free-to-play player, so I didn't want to expend the wild cards to get those cards. I don't use that in any of my decks that I play on the ladder. But, yeah, this has been an interesting deck. I've had a lot of fun. Hope you did too. And see you next time.